Well, Ruben Amorim, the manager of Manchester United, call him the head coach at Manchester United, has come out and broken silence onto Matheus Cunha joining Manchester United. Do you know the talk about town right now? It is Matheus Cunha to Manchester United. All the credible sources came up and obviously hinted onto this deal happening, and looks like his agent is obviously going to be arriving in Manchester to obviously have something to say about this. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And you know how it is and how we do it here onto this channel. This is the the United Matters channel. We are really having some few subscribers left to hit 20,500 subscribers onto this channel, and this is where I call upon for you guys to obviously come. Oh, it's already 20,513, meaning that we are left with 87 subscribers to hit 20,600. So guys, where are my people at? Where are my people at? Come up and really show me love onto this beautiful channel and see how things really go on as planned. And this is a big story that you guys need to know. What has Ruben Amorim had to say or have to say about Matheus Cunha into the mix? Now, let's obviously start it off with Amorim into the mix. Amorim has come up and said on the interest in Matheus Cunha. This is Simon Stein told us that Amorim refused to answer about Man United interest in Matheus Cunha, but says he has an idea about what his squad will look like next season. Says Casemiro is an example of how his mind can be changed about the benefits of individual players. Now, the manager never said anything about Matheus Cunha's coming, but he said he has an idea of how he wants his squad to look next season at the club of Manchester United. That is Ruben Amorim for you. Now, we all know to it that it's not into the football practicing ethics for a manager to speak about a player that he wants, yet he hasn't gone ahead to sign him. Finally. But I tell you, if all factors keep constant and push comes to shove, Matheus Cunha is going to be a player at Manchester United. And that is it. Unless otherwise, personal terms are agreed, everything is done and dusted, and maybe he breaks his leg in these remaining games of the season. Remember, for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they're having 4 games left to obviously end the Premier League season. And I think if I'm Wolverhampton Wanderers, because they are not here to obviously face a relegation, as 3 teams have already gone ahead to be confirmed that they've gone ahead to be relegated as they came in through last summer. That is Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. I wouldn't obviously keep playing this player because they are losing out onto the money. £62.5 million is the release clause in the contract of Matheus Cunha. So if at all you know exactly what it's all about, you have to really understand that nothing will stop the side of Man United from really getting this player, unless otherwise maybe he breaks his leg or something fishy really happens, you understand? But the manager is interested in Matheus Cunha and is signing him as a multifunctional player. I've gone ahead to see very talking about he's a number 10. All right, he's a number 10, but he can also lead the line. And in several occasions, you'll see him play as a number 10, all else play as a center forward because of his skill set, his energy, and all what he brings onto the field of play. So very soon, we'll obviously get a huge update of Matheus Cunha to Manchester United, and it's going to be one of those players that United will sign very, very soon. And by the way, for Man United, they're really serious because they're having 2 summer transfer windows, one starting on the 1st of June for the clubs. One opening up on the 1st of June because clubs are really going to be playing into what we call the FIFA Club World Cup, and so even other teams can sign players. So United want to sign these players immediately. Like 1st June, Cunha is supposed to be wearing that United jersey, such that he really rests for some 3 weeks, and then he obviously joins Manchester United as they open up their pre-season in Sweden, and then see where else he's really going to be playing. But obviously, he's a Premier League proven player. That's the most important bit of it all. He won't need to struggle playing against other Premier League sides because he knows the requirements of the Premier League hugely. So that is exactly what the manager really went ahead to say about Matheus Cunha. For Casemiro, I think I'll drop that story in there, but he says that that's how he can change. Remember, ever since Ruben Amorim came in through, one of the players that took long time to get into his squad was Casemiro, and guess what? He looks like he's one of those players that has gone ahead to convince the manager, and the manager is like, I can't be without Casemiro. In the last game we played against, before we came up and played, I think we were playing Newcastle, before we played Lyon, the manager benched him, you know, and he was like, he's one of the most important players I'm obviously going to be having in that game of Lyon. And indeed, his calculation and guess was right, because Casemiro was involved in a penalty that saw United make it 2-3 because it was 4-2 through the penalty that was really well converted by Bruno Fernandes. And guess who put in the cross that resulted into Harry Maguire netting the winner for the club of Manchester United before everyone thought that the game is over and we're heading to penalties? It was Casemiro going in for a teasing ball into the mixer, and Harry Maguire headed that ball into the back of the net for the club of Manchester United. So that's how things really panned out for the club of Manchester United, and I'm 100% sure that it's really gonna be the same case in here. So let's wait and see how Cunha's deal really pans out. But when you look at stories coming in from Brazil, Fabrizio Romano and very many others, looks like Matheus Cunha is just days away from being a United player. That is it. Now, Ruben Amorim was also asked about whether Man United is still a big attraction for incoming players. He said it's Man United, everyone wants to play for Manchester United. But I think it's no longer the same. And Ruben Amorim is just saying it or really defending the club. But the fact is, we are no longer the club we used to be, because if you come out here and you ask players that where would you want to be playing next season, I'm talking about elite players, then the answer wouldn't have gone ahead to be Manchester United. Do you know why United is winning the race for Matheus Cunha? It's Newcastle, Nottingham, looking at this player. Now, let me pose a question to you. Do you think if at all Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea were interested in Matheus Cunha, would he have given us first priority? You know the answer. The answer is no. And after Sir Alex Ferguson left, all the star players we've gone ahead to bring throughout Manchester United have been attracted at Manchester United for the money we obviously give them. For example, Di Maria, you know the much he was earning. Falcao, you know, I think was earning like £300,000 a week. Look at a player like Paul Pogba, you know, by 2016 was earning £290,000 a week, you know. Then, and we used to pay lump sums of money to bring those players in, because for Paul Pogba, we paid £90 million plus to bring him at Manchester United. Yet, if we had a competent footballing board, they would have gone ahead to sign like 3 players in that amount of Paul Pogba, because in 2016, £30 million was still a lot of money and would have gone ahead to bring you a Sadio Mane, a Firmino and a Fabinho that the previous manager had really wanted. You know, Harry Maguire, 86 million pounds. You understand? That's what we paid him for. And Ruben Diaz came in throughout Man City for just, I think, 60 million pounds. And of the two, you know who has been a better defender ever since those two dropped into the Premier League? Look at players like Fred. We paid close to 60 plus million euros for that player, whose exact value was around 35 million euros. You know, we've obviously paid a lot of money to bring in players. Jadon Sancho, 73 million pounds, yet no club really showed huge interest in him, and that would have gone ahead to be a very huge bargaining power for the club of Manchester United. So we've always gone ahead to be ransomed, and the United tax was paid because we used to see to it that we convinced these players to come in through because of the money we could offer to them. You understand? So guys, that's all it. And I think Ruben Amorim knows the truth that if Matheus Cunha had a better option, he would have been going. If Man City knocked on the door, he would have opened it for them. The same applies to Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. You know, But because it's Nottingham Forest and Newcastle, obviously he has opted to go the United way. That is Matheus Cunha. But all I know is, in 3 years, 2 seasons from now, 2 summers from now, Manchester United will have a lot to offer to the players, because I believe in Ruben Amorim, the project, and Ineos. They're bringing in youngsters that are really going to be taught the culture of Manchester United. And we're here to wait and see what will obviously happen in there. But all in the mix is United. He's still having a long way to go. Then Ruben Amorim also came up and said that we have to win every game, and every game is important. We have to put our standards, even without winning, really high. I feel the board understood the context and what we want to do. Our idea is real clear. So he's like, the project and the idea is very clear, and they have to put the standards high. I've just hinted about it, that if at all you want to start being an attractive footballing club for all world superstars, because we have the name, no doubts about it. We are one of the hugely supported clubs in the world, but the results we've gone ahead to get are really very bad. And I tell you, if United is still making that amount of money and negotiating such deals, how do you think United will look if at all the idea really works out? Like United starts to compete in the Champions League, winning the Premier League. I tell you, you'll see United negotiating a shirt sponsorship deal or a kit sponsorship deal with Adidas of £200 million, because we'll be having more and more funds. And even those that have been dormant will obviously have to raise their hand and say, right, we're here to do the needful. Then at the likes of Snapdragon, the front shirt sponsors will obviously cough close to £100 million. And I tell you, United will reach a level of really earning £1 trillion, £1 billion a season, because we'll be having a bigger stadium of a 100,000 seater, that is for the stadium of Manchester United, and so on and so forth. So that's it for now. Amorim on Matheus Cunha joining Manchester United. What are your thoughts about it? And what do you think about United? Is it still a team that attracts big players? I don't know whether you differ with me or not, but I've given you my thoughts. And lastly, do you buy the idea of Ineos and Amorim that United should obviously have such and such number of players, and the standards should be set to see to it that they win every game? And winning every game is a mission for a team like Manchester United, but it doesn't happen overnight. That means United will need more time to see to it that all goes on well as planned. And that's what we had in here for you. Good morning once again, second video of the day, and hope you guys have had the most fun out of me. Second video, and I know most were asking, Rokani, how come you're really throwing videos after videos? Because I feel like I've been really cheating you, and this time around I pray to it that I really keep this pace, because this pace is what is going to take us to the stars. But continue to subscribe. We want to hit 21,000 subscribers, right? And we can make it with you. We can make it. Big summer. That's why I obviously tell you, go ahead and really hit onto that notification bell. After hitting on that notification bell, you'll get notifications every time I upload a video onto this channel. But Ruben Amorim has said that to the player known as Casemiro, Matheus Cunha, and the future of the club. Do you think he's right or wrong? I'll be back in the next 3-4 hours with the next video, and it's gonna be all about the match preview. United vs Bournemouth, a game of football that we all know it's really gonna be hard for United to collect 3 points. I'm out.